You guys see there's drama brewing down in Texas?
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her? She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man, oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Phenomenal. Really speaks to the needs of the American people. Yeah, so James, wait, what is James? Jesus. Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine, quote, James, end quote, Crockett. It's because we're about to talk about James Talarico. Jasmine Crockett has thrown her hat in for the Texas Senate race, a Senate race that is going to be extremely expensive on both sides, hotly debated, right? We've got the Democratic primary coming in, and then the general. It looks like they're going to be up against Ken Paxton. So here are the stakes. Ken Paxton is running. That's the Republican. We don't know if he's going to win the Republican primary, but he's the worst guy who could win. He's hyper Hitler. That's the same guy who said that if the Supreme Court let him, he would start enforcing sodomy laws in Texas. That guy. Real bad. Uber Hitler, you know? So the Democrats need to pitch the best possible opposition to him or whoever ends up winning in the Republican primary. And unfortunately, Jasmine Crockett has thrown her hat in the ring. I don't like Jasmine Crockett. I get the bit. I understand loud, boorish, insults people. That's great. She's not a progressive. She's not great on political messaging. She speaks in exactly the way that would maximize outcomes in a Democratic primary and minimize them in a general election. You know? It's not good. It's not good. People, this isn't a hot take for me. Most of the people on Twitter are saying much the same. But yeah, no. She is not pro-Israel. Yeah, she's pro-Israel. She's great on the House Oversight Committee. The only thing she has for her is that Trump hates her and she yells at Republicans. That's it. That's it. She's boorish, you know. She's not a progressive. None of her positions are progressive. This is idpol at its core, okay? It's identitarianism being used to pull the wool over people's eyes and get them to forget that they would be voting for a reactionary, a moderate corporate centrist, pro-Israel, you know. But look at her. She's girl bossing. Trump hates her. Jesus. I mean, look, this whole ad just says me, 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 me. Look at me. I'm the enemy of the president. Me, 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 me. Nothing about what you're going to do or what you want for the country or what policies you support. Me, 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 me. Hold on. I got the right clip for this, okay? Because it's really funny and it supports what I'm saying.
Of us, especially in this moment. There are a lot of people that said, you got to stay in the house. We need our voice. We need you there. And I understand. But what we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is not only a voice, but we need to make sure that we are going to stop all the hell.
It's really funny. It's not, you know, it's not a policy position. It's just really funny. She seems narcissistic. I mean, it's, again, look, she's not a good Democrat, like, policy-wise. There's a reason you don't hear about her in the context of, like, the squad or the people making progressive moves or whatever the fuck else. But I do worry, because I already see the narrative on Twitter, oh, just say you hate black women. I hate at least one black woman. Well, two, because Kamala Harris as well. Could probably find a few more in politics who I hate. I'm not a big fan of Candace Owens. They're going to pull the fuck out of this, boys, okay? Every goddamn CIA agent with a bucket of shoe polish by their desk, you know, is going to be going online and posting, as a proud black woman, I'm disgusted at all the Democrats who are supporting, you know, Talarico over, they're already doing it. They are already doing it, 100%. Yeah, all the goddamn K-hivers. Clip from her first CNN interview. Oh, no. Oh, I saw this.
How will you make voters who previously have voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is...
She's running in Texas.
61% people of color. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know...
Implying that you're running on racial lines for non-white people and that you're not looking to appeal to white people? What?
Oh, then when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking.
The interviewer did not mention race, by the way. She did. The question was about Trump supporters, a lot of whom are Latin, by the way.
Talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president, who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better. Knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas, yet right now there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access health care, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, you know, what Trump supporters want, then fine.
Isn't her seat going to be raced anyway due to gerrymandering? No, this is a Senate race, not a House race.
Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that Inauguration Day he would have it inside while so many of his loyal supporters were outside.
It's the messaging is just incoherent here. You've got a dash of economic populism, but wait, she's not an economic populist, like, at all. She's just not. She doesn't have those positions. It's all anti-Trump shit. But then there's the weird, like, racial grievancing, or the racial grievancing here, which I don't understand at all. The, like, no, we don't need to win over Trump supporters in order to win. Most of the state is non-white, which, like, why would you... Why set up the narrative beforehand, you know? She also takes crypto money. Oh, she's taking money from a bunch of PACs and special interest groups. You know, again, it's literally just going to be the id poll bid. We are 100% with Talarico on this one. You know, we are Talarico pilled, you know? Brutal polling numbers for her before the campaign even starts. Good. In the Texas Senate primary, she needs to be crushed. Crockett's the only Democratic candidate in the Texas Senate race whose unfavorability rivals Paxton's. Nice. Yeah, Paxton polls very favorably against her. Yeah, -7 for Jasmine Crockett. James Talarico, look at that. Low knowledge across the board, but a solid +16. Talarico! I want to know more about Talarico. Talarico is like a good old boy, white Christian, big smile. But he's economic he's an economic populist, you know? Basically he was developed in a lab to see if it was possible to make Christians believe in Christ-like things again. That's essentially his entire bit. His entire bit is a reporter will come up to him and say, like, do you really support Medicare for all? And he'll say, well, I think Jesus would have liked that. Yeah, basically. I do think we should feed the hungry and clothe the sick. That's his bit. That's his bit. Here, let me find one of his yeah, it's real liberation theology stuff. Here, this he's got a couple of ads running. This one's from a month ago.
There's a lot of fear in our country right now.
Also, he does like look like a good old boy, you know? Which probably is going to help a little bit with winning over the conservative and the older vote.
But at this time of year, we face our fears. While most Americans are celebrating Halloween, here in Texas, we also celebrate Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead.
He actually went on Joe Rogan 4 months ago. I'm learning that as I scroll through YouTube right now.
Our movement.
Oh, sorry.
This is one of the largest Dia de los Muertos festivals in the country. Tell us what we're looking at.
So we're looking at ofrendas that families made for their loved ones. We're looking at marigolds everywhere, and we're also surrounded by people who come from all over to visit San Antonio, especially for Dia de los Muertos.
Scripture reminds us that love casts out fear. Everywhere you look at this festival, you see love. Oh
God, I hope the primary doesn't turn into a Hispanic versus Black slugfest. To be honest, that's kind of what I'm worried about. I'm going to speak very frankly, and you can all call me racist for telling the truth if you want, but there is a very annoying, very core group of prime centrist Democrat voters who are largely Black people who are online, very online. Many of them were K-hivers in 2020. And I guess to an extent 2024, though K-hive wasn't really a thing then. And they love to do the CIA's work for them. They love that shit. They love it. It's a very core, it's like a elite team of very online Black people whose job it is to call you racist if you don't back their shitty corporate candidate. You know? It's a real fucking problem. It's not like there aren't versions of this that exist for all groups, but I think it's metastasized, especially within the Democratic Party because of the unique racial politics of the party, where Black people are basically a guaranteed Democratic vote. But as a consequence, right, that means you get all of the reactionary Black people voting Democrat as well, which is why they tend to vote for Cuomo, you know? Reactionary white people vote Republican. Reactionary Black people, well, it's a coin toss, you know? It's a coin toss that favors voting Democrat. So I am worried about like Talarico, who is very much like we can all do this together, bring it all in together, you know, very nice guy. I'm worried about his campaign being dragged down by racial animus, being thrown at him by cynical people who are using Jasmine Crockett's run as an opportunity to flex, basically. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand this? It should be noted, by the way, that what I'm talking about right now is a fundamentally reactionary political force here. The weaponization of IDPOL it's Hillary Clinton shit. You know, it has nothing to do with progressivism. And identifying it and responding to it in a way that, you know, prevents it from doing harm to the American people is a good thing and should be a goal of all progressives. I just know sometimes people get defensive. They're like, that's not your business, white boy. I don't know, man. The U.S. Senate affects me too, actually, as a resident of the good old US of A. I want us to win that Senate seat. It does matter to me. This white boy does in fact have a foot in the door. I mean, Hillary's biggest demographic loyalists were Hispanics. Well, relative to other candidates, sure, but Black people are definitely the most Democrat-aligned racial bloc in America, for Hillary or otherwise. Yeah, actually, I don't think we've seen any version of this within the Democratic Party for Hispanic people, you know? There isn't a core Hispanic bloc that does quite the same thing. Maybe there will be in the future. I don't know. The Democrats have done a pretty bad job locking down the Latin vote, which is interesting, considering its Republican policy to fucking annihilate all of them and fucking throw them in a wood chipper, so...
Food, in the art, in the stories.
This is an ofrenda in memory of my wife. This is her wedding dress that my mother made for her.
It's beautiful.
It is our belief and our culture that she'll be coming along with our other ancestors to visit us.
It is really beautiful. I don't believe any of that hocus pocus, but I do love the pro-family sentiment. White boys could never. You know, I went to a place called Res Lecheria in northern Seattle a couple of months back. It had tres leches, you know, it had like the cake. And they had a little, I'm sorry, forgive a white boy for not speaking a bit of Mexican. It had the one of these in memoriam tables on the side. It was a family-owned business. It was a family-owned business. They had like grandma, you know, and with like her picture, and it was framed with a heart and stuff. It's called an ofrenda. Thank you. It was really pretty. Wonderful business, wonderful cake, wonderful people there. Seriously, really good stuff.
For the Day of the Dead, you know, and of course we like to believe that.
I always have this saying, it's like, keep going. Someone in heaven is rooting for you. And so beautiful. Now when this time happens, it's beautiful. Like, it's a celebration of life. And I know there's like fear, but it's still such a beautiful holiday. And San Antonio has shown so much resilience.
This is the Texas I know, a Texas full of life, of color, of heart. This is the Texas we're fighting for.
So yeah, we're rooting for Talarico here. Actually, hold on. Somebody linked this, but I think it's good to play. This is Talarico's. This was his announcing his run for the Senate. So if you'd like, we can compare and contrast this to Jasmine Crockett's.
The biggest divide in our country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. Billionaires want us looking left and right at each other so that we're not looking up at them. The people at the top work so hard to keep us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their wealth and their power. So their social media algorithms and their cable news networks tear us apart. They divide us by party.
Just off the bat, like, much better than, did you know the president said mean things about me? Slowly turns to camera. Aren't I so cunt? You know, a little bit better, I'd say, for an elected representative, like sentiment-wise.
By race, by gender, by religion, so that we don't notice that they're defunding our schools, gutting our health care, and cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It is the oldest strategy in the world. Divide and conquer. But we will not be conquered. We're underdogs in this fight. We're going up against those billionaire mega donors and their puppet politicians.
A bit too slopulous for my personal taste, but still a million times better. I think he substantiates it, you know? I think it's hard to come across, it's hard to avoid coming across as slopulist when you're giving your opening campaign pitch, right? You have to build that up. But he seems like a pretty good guy. You know, he seems like a pretty decent, he's a reverend, isn't he? It's just politics, Snowy Cat. Keep in mind, he is running in Texas. I think his electoral bid here, I mean, in addition to winning over the Democrats, I think that he wants to be seen as kind of like a light forward for Republicans who are looking for a step off. It's funny, he's kind of the opposite of Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett leans in on the contrarianism, on the partisanship. I don't think that's innately bad, mind you, but he's offering an out. I mean, if you were a Texas Republican and you're not really sure about the way the country's going right now under Trump, and it all seems kind of, you know, this guy right here, you know what I mean? He's an easy step to take. And that's what he's running for. And I get that.
We're going up against a rigged system, and we're going up against a lot of money. But I'm a former middle school teacher. I don't scare easily. And Texans don't scare easily. My granddad was a Baptist preacher in South Texas. He taught me that we follow a barefoot rabbi who gave 2 commandments: love God and love neighbor. Because there is no love of God without love of neighbor. Every single person bears the image of the sacred. Every single person is holy.
He's trying to be Mamdani too much. I disagree. I think you're just talking to talk. He's explicitly like a reverend. Like that's a part of his message. He is a religious leader, you know? Also, like really good framing here for an opening campaign video. Does this not look exactly like this? Looks like it could have been shot in the 1950s. We're seeing it in portrait mode, sure, but I mean that's the vibe it's getting off, right? From the film grain to the music to even the people in attendance. I mean, for the most part, it's white people here, you know. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He is. I think that his strategy would work really well, and he is very difficult to attack. You know, the Texas Republicans are going to have a hell of a hard time dealing with him if he does, in fact, win the primary. And God, I hope he does, because they're going to have such an easy time going after Jasmine Crockett. And don't get me wrong, by the way, most of the shit they would say about Jasmine Crockett would just be like racism. That's all. Like, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is going to, you know, attack her for her pro-Israeli sentiment or whatever. They're just going to be really fucking racist against her. But look, at the end of the day, I want that Senate seat, and I think he's a good bid for it.
Not just my neighbors who look like me or pray like me.
What are his views in Israel? He's actually pretty pro-Palestinian, if I recall.
Or vote like me. Those billionaires are trying to keep us from seeing all that we have in common. They're trying to keep us from realizing that there is far more that unites us than divides us. Because once we do, we will come together across party, across race, across gender, across religion, to take power back for ourselves and our communities.
Wait, is he a Republican? Nope, believe it or not. God, sorry. He's a Democrat.
2,000 years ago, when the powerful few rigged the system, that barefoot rabbi walked into the seat of power and flipped over the tables of injustice. To those who love this state, to those who love this country, to those who love our neighbors, it's time to start flipping tables.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Even to, you know, Reddit atheists such as myself, it's pretty good. Did you see the rap they did for Jasmine at her announcement? No?
Let's get into it. Okay, she ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who is willing to go toe-to-toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with our army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy? Think again. They only trying to scare out of running cause they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett.
All right. Well, please clap. Rhyme's not that bad. I'm not criticizing the young man up on stage, okay? That's not where my emotions are directed right now. I just feel like Jasmine Crockett's Senate run is an AIPAC funded ploy to keep Talarico out of the upper house, you know? Talarico has great messaging on trans rights.
The only minority destroying America is the billionaires. Trans people are 1% of the population. Muslims are 1% of the population. Undocumented people are 1% of the population. We are focused on the wrong 1%.
That's probably not true. His math's a little off, but I understand the sentiment.
Trans people aren't taking away our health care. Muslims aren't defunding our schools. Immigrants aren't cutting.
Notice how he's wearing actual leather shoes and not sneakers. Something to consider.
Taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It's the billionaires and their puppet politicians. The culture wars are a smokescreen. So many of the divisions in this state and in this country are manufactured by billionaires who want us fighting each other instead of fighting them.
They want us looking left and right at our neighbors instead of looking up at them. The biggest divide in our politics is not left versus right, it's top versus bottom.
Here's Talarico getting a MAGA host to end his segment because Talarico owns him so hard. I don't think I've seen this one. What is this?
But when you're winning in Illinois, you're happy to play by these rules.
Again, I've condemned all gerrymandering across the country. And in fact, when Democrats had a majority in Congress, they voted to ban gerrymandering in every state, red states and blue states. Do you know how many Republican members of Congress joined them in that effort?
Which one? I'm sorry, which state did you just refer to?
I'm asking, do you know how many Republicans joined Democrats in the U.S. Congress to ban gerrymandering? All the Democrats voted for it. 0 Republicans voted for it. 0.
It's an odd.
So you can spare me the both sides rhetoric. It's clearly one side that is trying to rig the rules in the middle of the game. This is like 2 football teams coming out of the locker room at halftime, and the team that's ahead says they want to change the rules for the second half so they can win the game. All of us would be throwing food at the TV if that happened. We don't accept cheating in our politics. We don't accept cheating in our relationships. We shouldn't accept cheating in our elections.
You've done the same thing as us, and we are going to, by the way, if you do it, we're going to ratchet it up even more, in the words of Gavin Newsom.
My party has never gerrymandered in the middle of the decade at the request of the President of the United States, nor would we. The only way this is going to happen in blue states is if Texas executes this power grab. You mentioned Massachusetts. Do you know the party of the governor that signed that map into law? He was a Republican. It was a Republican governor that signed that map into law. So I just want to be clear with our facts, and I don't want to muddy the waters. All of us, whether we're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, we should stand up.
It shows. So it's not just the politics here. He's got a steel spine too. You know, he's comfortable arguing. He's comfortable having his feet planted in the ground. It's not all just, you know, kumbaya shit.
The politicians who don't want to face accountability at the ballot box. That's exactly what's happening here. And I asked you, if Republican policies are popular, why do they need to redraw these maps? Why can't they just run on their policies?
I'm getting wrapped on time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I want to let it go on, and I apologize. That's such is the nature of cable television.
That's good. Well, here's him welcoming Jasmine Crockett to the race.
Is built on unity, not division. So we welcome Congresswoman Crockett or any other candidates to jump in the race. Competition makes us all stronger for the general election next November. But we're going to keep doing what we're doing, which is organizing this entire state so that we can win the general election next year. And my track record is pretty clear. I'm able to fight back and deliver victories at the ballot box and in the halls of power. I first got elected to the state legislature by flipping a Trump district that Democrats hadn't won in 30 years. No one thought the race was winnable. Everyone told me flipping a Trump district was impossible. I was told I was too young. I was told I didn't have the money or the political connections to win. But my neighbors and I, we ran an aggressive, authentic, unorthodox campaign that brought people together. And on election night, we flipped that district with 51% of the vote. And then once I got into the state legislature, even though I was a Democrat in a Republican-dominated body, I still found ways to win.
Yeah, I guess to sum it all up, we are very pro Talarico here. We are not pro Crockett. So whatever insane, insipid, you know, polarizing race war discourse crops up on Democrat Twitter over this, you know, we've got our feet planted. Jasmine did say it would be scary if the U.S. ended the Israel allyship over Netanyahu being evil. No, she's a corporate stooge. Yeah, no, there's a million things you can find. Yeah. She's pro-Israel. She always has been. She roasted MTG that one time and has been living off the cloud ever since. And it's funny because MTG apparently was actually the least MAGA Republican in the entire House. Of all the people. Oh my God, she's even wearing the shirt here. Yeah, bleach, blonde, bad bitch, whatever. Yeah, she's wearing the fucking shirt here. Jesus Christ. Or maybe she was the only MAGA Republican? Maybe. They're still beefing, by the way. Trump and MTG? Using the goddamn track APAC images Donald Trump has received $230.5 million in independent expenditures and campaign contributions received from pro-Israel interest groups versus MTG, who's just in it for the love of the love of the game. When do you think MTG and Fuentes are going to have a conversation? It's basically guaranteed. No way that shit doesn't happen. I can fix her, Vosh, I swear. I'm not the one you need to be talking to. You need to be talking to your maker. But also, no, you can't. 1,000 Asmongold gonna convo soon, it's been told. You guys are such new frogs. You guys don't even remember the Trainwrecks TV hosted Fuentes Destiny conversation of years past. It's not the first time that he's dipped his toe into the larger live stream market. Everyone remember how hard Trainwrecks was trying to be professional there? That was really fucking funny. Does Trainwreck still stream? I haven't heard much about him lately. Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gambling addiction? Ah, gambling addiction. That sucks. The only reason Marjorie Trader Brown, Greene turns brown under stress, went bad is that she was jilted by the President of the United States. Certainly not the first time she has been jilted. Too much work, not enough time, and her ideas are, now, really bad. She sort of reminds me of a rotten apple. Marjorie is not America First or MAGA, because nobody could have changed her views so fast, and her new views are those of a very dumb person. That was proven last night when washed-up, Trump-hating, 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stahl, who still owes me an apology from when she attacked me on that show, with serious conviction, that Hunter Biden's Jesus Christ. Yeah, the illiteracy crisis. That Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was produced by Russia, not Hunter himself. Totally proven wrong. Interviewed a very poorly prepared trader who, in her confusion, made many really stupid statements. My real problem with the show, however, wasn't the low IQ trader. It was that the new ownership of 60 Minutes Paramount would allow a show like this to air. They are no better than the old ownership who just paid millions. Jesus Christ. He forgot the fucking what the point of the tweet was. Straight from the president. I don't know. Christ. I know you say the MAGA movement is dead, but how dead is it exactly? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to embarrass myself by attempting to predict the exact moment of the rapture here. It seems to me like it's like reaching peak oil, you know? Everyone in the party understands there is now nothing that they can do to shore up the approval that Trump has hemorrhaged over the past year. There's no way around it, you know? It's gone and it's not coming back. So he's basically a lame duck president. Seriously, what has Trump even done? Directly, I mean. I've given this rant a bunch of times. Look, the country's in a really bad state right now, but it's not in a bad state because the president has unilaterally exercised overwhelming control over its institutions. It's because it's a big fucking mess. Everything's been gutted and scraped and fucked and you know, intimidated. But nothing has been structurally reformed. I guess the lesson here really is that the MAGA movement is incapable of building anything. Is that a good way of saying it? They can break and they can warp, but they can't build. There are no institutions that they are capable of building. They can't leave a legacy and they can't cement their existing power by constructing anything new. They can't do it. They're like Nazis? No, the Nazis actually could build things. The Nazi Party built many institutions, horrible, wretched institutions, designed to cement their power. They did build things. This administration is too incompetent, and they're too afraid of the consequences of their own actions, and everything's mired in administrative bloat and bureaucracy. No. Nothing is getting built, so nothing fundamentally can change with regards to their long-term approval. So the president's pretty much, like, the president's power is pretty much limited to stuff like this, you know? And yeah, no, they can't even break that much, because if they break too many things too fast, the economy, you know, their business partners get nervous. 1.6 million people have self-deported. Honestly, good for them. They chose a good time to get the fuck out of here. It's going to be decades before this country even has the opportunity to be something special. MTG is continuing her anti-Trump tour. She'll be on it for a long, long time, I feel. I just hope she doesn't get laundered too much by Democrats, you know? Also eager to jerk her off for, I don't know, a personal fallout.
To be precise. In addition to what we just heard there, President Trump posted yesterday that you are, quote, and I'm quoting him now, not America first or MAGA, and your, quote, new views are those of a very dumb person. That's the President of the United States speaking about you. What's your response to these latest attacks?
Well, actually, Wolf, I feel very sorry for President Trump. I genuinely do. It has to be a hard place for someone that is constantly so hateful and puts so much vitriol, name-calling, and really tells lies about people in order to try to get his way or win some kind of fight. And I think that's exactly what's wrong in America today. That's what's wrong in this toxic political environment that has ripped our country apart. And I personally think that that's poor leadership from a president. It's a very bad demeanor, and Americans are very tired of it.
Great stuff. Pretty lame and gay, by the way, that her big political shift away from MAGA would also correspond with a sudden, unprecedented love of civility. Like, she was so nasty getting into Congress, but she's not being nasty at all to the president. Why? I think it's all a fucking stunt, you know? Self-aggrandizing bullshit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's sincere to an extent. She's just such a... I think she's a little spooked too. Nobody should be spooked by the president. He's all fucking talk. Seriously, it's like the all of the hemming and hawing and the capitulation that you see from like businesses and universities. They're doing it because they want to. They just know that it's embarrassing to like Trump, so they're keeping up this pantomime, this big performance publicly of being kowtowing to the administration, being beaten into submission.